All right, guys, I'm feeling ambitious. So this is my model of what I want to do for the roundhouse that we're talking about doing this spring. I'm not for sure about this entry area, or if it'll just be the plain door, plain front and a door, which would be more traditional. I have seen them with the extended doorway, and I do think it would be a little cleaner, a little drier. You could also hang a door here and like a blanket here to keep heat and stuff. It'd make it a lot warmer to have that double entry. But it also means less light's going to come in, and this isn't a very brightly lit structure to begin with. So I haven't made up my mind 100% on that yet. The other thing that we're doing that's not particularly authentic, but I think what I need to do for myself here is that normally, so the structure of the roof, the pitch of the roof is such that a traditional roundhouse has a thatched roof. You make your fire in here, and it goes up and kind of settles, the smoke settles up in here above your head, and it slowly wafts out through the thatching material. And here in the US, thatching material isn't something you can just come by. I am working on some sources to get some reeds and such, but I don't think I'm going to be able to have the massive amounts. I mean, I'm talking several pickup loads to make it waterproof. And in the meantime, someone has offered me a tarp. No, it will not say Super One on it. That's just the grocery bag, but we have to use our imagination once again. And so I have a tarp that's going to be the full circumference of what I need. And that will make us waterproof. And then the amount of stuff that I am gathering for thatching, we can do one layer over the top, make it look authentic, but still be, dry inside and do what we need to do. Now, because the smoke is not going to naturally leach out like it's supposed to, I'm gonna probably end up having to leave a hole at the top and putting a little raised cap to keep water from coming in but let the smoke escape, and then serve sort of as a chimney. I'm a little anxious about it because if you let too much go out, the smoke inside actually acts as a spark arrestor. And so if you let the smoke out too fast, you will lose that. And so sparks could get up into the loft, or loft area, or this upper area, and you could have fire. So having some smoke in the upper elevation is a good thing. But if we don't let it enough out, of course, then we smoke ourselves out. If we let too much out, we're not getting that effect. The other downside to having a tarp on there is normally as the smoke comes through here, it actually kind of keeps this clean of like bugs and so forth. We're not going to have that option, but for this particular project, we're going to do our best. So let's move down to the walls, which will be sort of a wattle and daub type of layout. I may not be able to do proper wattle walls that are woven. I don't have quite the right materials here. I'm thinking this is going to be more like small straight branches, or small straight trees that have died off. I have a good stack of those, and those will be stacked up like you do when you're making a regular lean shed, and then mudded over. And so we'll mud it and then whitewash it, and then we can paint it if we want to to a certain extent. But that will give us the same effect. And we may do a double wall system. I'm kind of toying with that right now too. So there'd be a second wall just a little bit away from this one, with dirt or leaves or whatnot filling the space in between, and then each side will be mudded. The interior and the exterior sides will be mudded, and then that way we'll have a very, very solid, hopefully winterable camping area. I hope. Keep your fingers crossed for me on this one. And then the only thing that I'm still kind of wondering about is this front section. I don't know about a double doorway yet. On the one hand, it could be warmer, drier, cleaner to come through that doorway and you know, clean off your feet and leave the moisture outside. Having a double doorway keeps the heat in if you hang a blanket here and your door out here. But it also makes it a lot darker with that. Even with the doors wide open, not as much light's going to come in. So being that this is not a very brightly lit structure, that might be problematic. And no, we're not building it on foam, as my son suggested. We have to use our imaginations and pretend that's dirt. But then inside we'll have our fire pit in the middle. Roughly speaking, I am sort of toying with having it a little off center so that there's more room for the bed, and that space in between is not quite so dangerous. I don't want to be too close to the fire on the sleeping pallet. And then that's the plan.